basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. DeAndre Ayton is considered a problematic and controversial player, but he is dominant and has physical strength and helps on defense. At 7 feet tall, he can be dominant in the paint, and that is what the Lakers need. DeAndre Ayton can play games with physicality. Successful trade suggestion: Lakers signed DeAndre Ayton. Adequate big man targets shouldn't be challenging for the Los Angeles Lakers to locate in free agency. However, it isn't always easy to identify the perfect fit. With Blazers edges Adrian Bernesica's assistance, though, the Lakers could hit the jackpot by swapping a starting forward for a former Phoenix Suns star center. In order to maximize Luka, Doncic moving forward, the Lakers need a big man who can catch lobs, hit mid-range jumpers, rebound at a high level, and play at least average defense, Bernesic wrote Saturday. Sound like anyone we know? Yielded in the Damian Lillard trade, DeAndre Ayton has, almost, been the player we expected, with a lack of consistency his biggest flaw. Let's start with returning salary. Rui Hachimura is a no-brainer. With only 1 year left, he's a rotation forward earning $18.2 million, an amount that gets you halfway there. From here, the Lakers could add Dorian Finney-Smith, which pretty much gets you to Ayton's number. But my guess is they'd prefer to keep Finney-Smith and opt for one of $3.11 to $11.5 million players in Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, or Jared Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is my least favorite as he still has 3 years left on his deal. The Lakers will also have to add Dalton Knecht and/or Shake Milton to make it legal. Ayton was far from a liability with the Suns. While his three-point shot has never been a strong suit, he enjoyed a successful 5-year tenure with the Devin Booker-led franchise by paying attention to detail in the pick and roll, thriving in the high post, grabbing defensive boards, and altering shots around the rim. The Arizona product helped Phoenix secure a spot in the 2021 Western Conference Finals, averaging 14.4 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per game while shooting 62.6% from the field. That said, it's essential to note that Ayton's eventual downfall was due to his poor work ethic and inability to maintain high energy for extended periods. These two traits have also plagued him with the Portland Trail Blazers during the past 2 seasons. Assuming Ayton improves his motor/effort, the Lakers could complete an underrated trade for the 26-year-old center. Hachimura is a significant part of the Lakers' new-look offense with Doncic, but with a big man like Ayton likely being available, he would have to continue his career in Portland to make a deal work. Shocking NBA team reportedly considered drafting Lakers star Bronny James. Bronny James was among the most high-profile rookies in NBA history. He was selected by the Los Angeles Lakers with the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft after 1 year at USC. That said, Chris Maddox of Sports Illustrated revealed that the Boston Celtics considered selecting Bronny. Maddox, on March 13, I do believe that if LeBron just kind of backed all the way off and Rich Paul backed all the way off, that somebody would have drafted Bronny in the second round. There is a talent there, and I do think that somebody in that second round would have taken a flyer on him. Boston almost drafted him. Ultimately, decided not to do it. Before the draft, there had been a lot of rumors that Bronny's camp only wanted the Lakers to select him, to be with his father. Bob Myers, via NBA on ESPN on June 27, 2024. Rich Paul is calling teams, don't take Bronny James. If you take him, he's going to Australia. Bronny finished his rookie NBA year with averages of 2.3 points per contest while shooting 31.3% from the field and 28.1% from the three-point range in 27 games. While teams around the league respected James and his family, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if a team, other than the Lakers, had selected the 20-year-old guard. Has another trade been proposed? Monster 4-team trade proposal sees Lakers land a new center. Since acquiring Luka Doncic ahead of the February 6 trade deadline, the Los Angeles Lakers have been in the market for a new center. Doncic is at his best when sharing the court with an explosive lob threat. In a recent 14-player, for-team trade proposal from Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus, the Lakers land a new big man. And while the incoming center isn't a lob threat, he would drastically improve JJ Redick's team. The monster trade proposal looks like this. Toronto Raptors get Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Smith, and Jevon Carter. Milwaukee Bucks get R.J. Barrett, Grady Dick, Chris Boucher, Jacoby Walter, Gabe Vincent. Raptors 2025 number 9 draft pick, 2026 first-round swap rights with Raptors, 2026 Lakers second-rounder, 2027 first-round pick, 2028 first-round swap rights, 2029 first-round pick, 2030 first-round swap rights, 2031 first-round pick and a 2032 first-round swap rights, top 5 protected for the Raptors. Los Angeles Lakers get Jakob Poeltl and Lonzo Ball. Chicago Bulls get Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, Shake Milton, A.J. Lawson, $10 million trade exception, Ball, $9 million trade exception, Smith, and a $1.5 million trade exception, Carter. Pincus noted that an important aspect of his proposal is that it couldn't take place until after July 12. Poeltl is not flashy, but he's a legit 7'0", 260-pound center who averaged 14.5 points and 62.7% shooting with 9.6 rebounds and 1.2 blocks per game. Against the Boston Celtics, he scored a career-high 35 points with 12 rebounds. He fills one of the two needs at the position, Pincus reasoned. The Lakers can retain Hayes, a shared client of WME's Bill Duffy, who represents Doncic, giving the team the lob option. LA would continue to target that archetype. Still, Poeltl is an immediate upgrade, better suited with the necessary heft that Hayes doesn't bring. Poeltl could elevate the Lakers. Poeltl is a fundamentally sound big man. He can protect the rim, operate as an offensive hub on the perimeter or around the elbows, and is a highly talented screener and rebounder. The Lakers would be adding a reliable presence to their center rotation and could potentially become a dominant rebounding team. While Poeltl isn't the absurd athlete the Lakers are probably looking for, he is a true professional who would slot seamlessly into the locker room. He may not be a three-point threat, but his dribble handoff creation and his screening would allow him to operate as part of a 5-out offense. Teams generally put non-shooting bigs into the weak side slot in those situations, where defenses have to respect the threat of a cut, and thus, spacing can be created. Lonzo Ball should be ready for next season. Ball missed the final 22 games of the Chicago Bulls season with a wrist injury. It was the latest absence of his patchy tenure with the franchise. However, during a recent episode of his What an Experience with Lonzo Ball podcast, the former Lakers guard gave a positive update on his recovery. "I'm feeling great, man. Back on the court this week, man," Ball said. "So, moving around. Got a long summer. Gearing up for next year." If healthy, Ball would give the Lakers a high-level playmaker and perimeter defender. He would easily slot into JJ Redick's system and could be a reliable leader for the second unit. NBA executives believe Luka Doncic deal was a gift to the Lakers, and now they will pay the price. NBA execs fume as Luka Doncic lands in LA, calling the trade a gift to Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers' blockbuster acquisition of Luka Doncic sent shockwaves across the NBA, not just because of the sheer magnitude of the player involved, but because of how easy it seemed. According to NBA insider Jake Weinbach, multiple league executives believe the Lakers were handed a gift by the Dallas Mavericks when they traded for Doncic, and now, other teams around the league are prepared to make them pay for it. The sentiment is growing among front offices. The Lakers didn't deserve to land a 26-year-old generational superstar like Luka, especially given their lack of assets. And yet, they pulled it off, swapping Anthony Davis for Doncic in a deal that didn't even strip them of their limited draft capital. It was seen as a shocking coup, considering the Lakers had little leverage, minimal flexibility, and no clear long-term star plan with LeBron James turning 40 and Davis battling constant injury concerns. Before the trade, Los Angeles was clinging to playoff hopes. Their defense was slowly coming together, their chemistry was improving, and there were signs they could go on a run, but with LeBron aging and Davis's body unreliably fragile, the championship window felt like it was closing fast. Austin Reeves was their best young asset, but he wasn't bringing back a superstar in any deal. Then the Luka Doncic trade happened. Suddenly, the Lakers had a generational offensive engine who's not only one of the top 5 players in the league but someone who hasn't even reached his true prime. He's 26, has already made multiple All-NBA first teams, led a finals run, and carried a franchise for years. And now, he's in purple and gold, ready to headline the post-LeBron era in Hollywood. What's left teams around the league furious isn't just the result, it's the process. Sources suggest that Dallas never seriously shopped Luka to other teams. There was no bidding war. No multi-team auction. No leveraging of suitors. They quietly agreed to a deal with the Lakers, sending Davis to Dallas and receiving far less than what most teams would have given up for a player of Doncic's caliber. The sense across the league is clear: the Mavericks could have done so much better. This, of course, fits a familiar narrative around the Lakers, one that stings other teams who've toiled for years trying to land a superstar. Magic Johnson was handed to them with the number 1 pick while Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was already on the roster. Kobe Bryant was acquired from the Hornets in a lopsided draft day deal. Shaquille O'Neal chose the Lakers in free agency. LeBron did the same. And now, Luka. But this time, executives are pushing back. The perception of the Doncic deal as a gift has left many teams vowing to drive a harder bargain. If the Lakers come calling for role players or stars this offseason, they may have to overpay. The league isn't looking to hand the Lakers another golden ticket, not after they just got one without even asking. LeBron James turns heads with exciting Luka Doncic news on Sunday. The Los Angeles Lakers attempted to pull the strings to be able to compete for an NBA title last season, pairing LeBron James and Luka Doncic. While James has been competing with the Lakers for the past several seasons, Los Angeles acquired Doncic ahead of the deadline, dealing Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. After a season that ended in the first round of the postseason, James and Doncic caught fans' attention for their meetup. Doncic joined James on the Mind the Game podcast, which the Lakers forward hosts with NBA legend Steve Nash. While part 1 of the podcast was released several days ago, James announced on Sunday that part 2 has officially been released. Blessing y'all on the weekend, Luka part 2 out now, posted the official social media account of the Mind the Game podcast. Upon the release of the announcement, sharing the news on LeBron James and Luka Doncic's latest collaboration, some fans took to social media to share their thoughts. "Aight Bron, you not fooling us anymore. This you ain't it gang," said one fan. "So good thank you guys," said another fan. "Is part 2 the last one?" mentioned one fan. "We hear," commented one fan. "Appreciate you goat," said one fan. "Is it filmed at an all-you-can-eat buffet?" "Now that I would watch," said another fan. During LeBron James' 22nd season in the NBA, he averaged 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. Luka Doncic, who played the second half of the NBA season with the Los Angeles Lakers, posted 28.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 7.7 assists per game in 50 contests for the Mavericks and Lakers. The Lakers lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the postseason, forcing them back to the whiteboard ahead of James' 23rd season in the league. Luka Doncic explains why he said it's easier to score in NBA than Europe. Current Los Angeles Lakers star Luka Doncic made headlines early in his career when he said it is easier to score in the NBA than it was in Europe. So far though, Doncic has proven that be true, as in 7 seasons, he has been named to 5 All-Star teams and collected 5 first-team All-NBA nominations while averaging 28.6 points. Doncic's career is off to a historic start from a scoring perspective, and he explained why he has had so much success and feels it's easier to score in the NBA on the latest episode of the Mind the Game podcast with LeBron James and Steve Nash. "Especially when I would say about 15 and I had a coach that was hard on me. But hard on everybody, from 1 to 12, he did the same thing to everybody. It wasn't like it was just one person. So that's really when I started to play. When I was 15, I started my first practices with the first team and I was scared. I was nervous. But at some point you get used to it. I competed when I was 16, I was shaking. I still remember the moment. But I think in Europe, watching the EuroLeague now and before, it's more about the team and teamwork. But it's different rules in the NBA, I've always said that. The reason I said it's easier to score in the NBA is because it's just different rules. You have a lot more spacing, you have more minutes. It's 8 more minutes, anything can happen in 8 minutes. So it's just because of that. In Europe, if you get a big guy, for example like Eddie Tavares, he plays in Madrid. He's just standing in the paint and he can stand in the paint and he's 7'3", it's hard to score on that. It's impossible. Here, you can't do that because it's a 3-second violation. There's no arguing with Doncic that NBA rules make it easier to score. He pointed out the most egregious example of that is in Europe, there is no defensive 3-second calls so centers can just camp out in the paint. NBA rules involve some give and take though as playing defense is as hard as ever, which is an area Doncic and the Lakers will need to improve on if they want to get back into championship contention. LeBron James on what makes Luka Doncic so special. LeBron James has been a fan of Luka Doncic since he entered the league and he recently discussed what makes his Lakers co-star so special. It's always his pace. It's always been his pace. It's never been a game where it's like you can speed me up, he can speed me up, this bigger guy can be more physical, this smaller guy can get underneath me. It's like, he moves at his own pace.